morning, everybody. We're delighted that you are here today on this important occasion. We are delighted today that we are able to partner with the Social Planning Network of Ontario, and there's a number of representatives from that organization that are with us today. As we gather today, we are mindful of the many in our community who are struggling to survive, and an issue that thus far has not been raised in the provincial election, and we want to make sure in the early days of this election campaign that the issue does get raised as the election campaign continues. And so we are looking to those of you who are gathered here and to those who can share this message out across the community to make sure that issue gets raised. And of course, one of the main ways we're going to do that in the next while visually is with the signs that are behind me here today.
Some people with disabilities are genuinely unable to participate in employment, and they shouldn't be punished for that. We're inviting the electorate to examine the platforms of each of the political parties on an issue which is often invisible to the affluent in our society. We want to suggest a number of concrete proposals which can be taken to reduce and eliminate poverty in the province of Ontario. Specifically, we'd like to see the following. Number one, immediate $100 increase to the healthy food supplement in social assistance. Number two, raising social assistance rates so that all recipients live at or close to the low income cutoff are assisted. We'd like to see the minimum wage raised to $11 an hour immediately. I believe that the poor can wait no longer and that we must begin to deal with these things and continue to deal with these right now. We're told recent information from Statistics Canada reports that Ontario's poverty rate has risen in excess of 13% since 2009, and it's felt most remarkably among the poor and the vulnerable. Times of economic recession are tough for everyone, but the people who are impacted most are the most vulnerable.
Justice shall you pursue. We take this very seriously in our tradition. Our faiths are a common strength to challenge the poverty, the deprivation, and the injustice.
It is the government duty to change a reality that is unfortunately growing before our eyes. Not only the poor people who can afford, but there are many struggling families. Every religion talks about poverty and eradicating poverty. Neither the debates over creed and dogma will unite us, nor lectures, but I believe eradicating poverty is the best thing where we can work together. We are asking the politicians to raise the minimum wage. We are asking everyone in this election to push an agenda, not with words and promises that have been broken many times, but we need an agenda that is realistic. Commitment from the top to the bottom. There are a lot of working poor. A lot of people cannot make ends meet. Husbands and wives and single mothers and people who are struggling. Students. Poverty has changed in concept in our modern times. Poverty is not seen, unfortunately, because we may dress up clean just so we can, it's part of who we are and part of work, but a lot of people are poor. They can afford even rent for a decent shelter, food for the day for their children, proper nutrition for their children. Poverty has taken different shapes and forms. The reality is we can make a difference, and it doesn't take a lot. By investing in the human being, by empowering those who are poor in society, we change the reality of our society. It is our duty, not only as people of faith, but as citizens, to demand that we have to make a difference.
Whenever we have the power and the ability, the capacity to make it a voting issue, to make it part of the budget, and more importantly, to utilize our garnered forces to make the end of poverty a reality, then that is the best act of charity, and that is the best act of virtue. The great Mahatma Gandhi reminded us that sometimes poverty is a crime, and unfortunately, until today, we see the realities of those. It may very well become that we lose our faith and we lose our belief and our loyalty and trust in God Almighty whenever we're hit by the crisis of poverty. So I ask and I beseech you and I request, rather I call upon Ontarians to ensure that the sign I have behind me, it's not another political party, but it's an asking to all political parties to ensure that poverty is top of the list of the voting action come next month. The importance of making a generous Canada, the importance of putting love more than anger and fear more than hope and optimism more than despair.
I'm calling on all political leaders to support the Poverty-Free Ontario campaign and to step forward and tell us what you're going to do to help working families, what you're going to do to help poor families, to move forward with their lives.
In solidarity with people across our province who today will be putting up signs on faith community properties and in other places, social agencies. As an ISARC coalition, we are deeply grateful to the many faith traditions that have come together to be part of the diverse community that we call ISARC.
Other organizations and many individuals are picking up and asking for signs. We might actually have to order new signs because of the demand and interest in this kind of thing. So you are joined with many other hundreds and we think thousands of people across this province in this action today, and we think this can make an impression on our political election campaign.